All right, welcome everybody to our Thursday morning run call. So excited to see all of you here today. I'm going to take just the first couple seconds here of the call to make sure we all have our cameras turned on if at all possible, right? Doesn't matter what you look like. We love you no matter what you look like. If your hair is crazy, if you don't have makeup on, as long as you have your clothes on, turn on that camera. I am going to scroll through every screen that I see faces and real quick make sure that we all have smiles on. So don't you stop smiling until I say so. Big fat smiles right here. I'm going to call you out if you're not smiling too. Let's see them. Heather, let me see that smile. All right, loving this. So many big smiling faces. Oh, yay. Mick, you're awesome. I can feel your vibes. Monica, I feel you coming through the screen. Becky, you're looking beautiful this morning. Lauren, you're looking beautiful. Tony, I need a smile from you. Let me see it. All right, guys. So I am Kelsey, your host for today. We have an amazing presentation going on today. But before that, as usual, I'm going to give you some announcements so that we all are on the same page here. Last day, I can't even believe this, last day of the month, we have 2 calls going on today, 7 p.m. Eastern time tonight. 9 p.m. Eastern time tonight as well as the recordings from the other ones that have happened throughout the week. Type a 1 in the chat really quick for me if you guys have been getting a lot of value from these calls. I just like to get a little pulse on what's going on. Yeah, me too. I'm a 1 for sure. Getting a ton of value, really good connect tool for the people in our communities. Second thing is Becky's new Inspire On video. Make sure you're going to the Pruvit page and engaging on that and sharing that out as well. For today and the 5 and 10 day experience pack blitz in the Pruvit promoter page, it is you drinking your ketones with your trial pack. So make sure that all of those trial packs that you're getting out today, it looks like Amy might be packing some up right here on the call. So make sure you photograph yourself drinking your ketones with those. We still have the promoter pack on sale, so getting those last minute conversations in with people who are just raving fans of our product. And obviously we still have the reboot going on as well. So that's what I have as far as announcements. So I wanted to take a quick second here to shift gears and go into the chat and focus on that love and recognition. So who in your business is charging like a freaking rhino, crushing everything in their business in February, just charging into March? Give them a shout out in the chat and we'll go ahead and read some of those off. Dana Murray, Chantel, Katie Rose, ooh, twice in a row. Paige Brown, Stephanie Stewart, Pam Winkler, Charlotte, Carson Collins, she just bought her KK and more tickets. Holla, she's going to be there with her baby. Leslie, Becky Wilson signing shoe promoters in her first week. Marilee, Christine, Jamie, Sam Zerke, Wendy Clark. Allison is stepping out of her comfort zone daily. That is massive. Donna Phillips just signed up Tuesday and hit go last night. Go, go, go. Madeline Logan just signed up yesterday and is on her second team call. That is commitment. I love it. Annie, Trish Sullivan, Steph Lombardi, Amy Gum just bought her KK and more tickets for her first event. Woo! Melissa Berenger, Stephanie Arnold, Colette Owens, Emily, Kristen Kolzinski hit rank 2, that's awesome. Christina Cooper showing up every day. Charlotte Isabel, consistent AF, amen to that. Ken Cools, Brian Joyce, Kat Pitka, Don Caldwell, you guys are testing my pronunciations today. Lisa Doxy, Julie Peterson, Cam and Mick, Bridget Geis, and I are heading to the next event regardless of challenges. Love that. Emily Santiago, Christina Cooper always showing up, Julie, Rachel Robinson, Shelly Mount always here, Katie Rollins and Kendra McMurphy from Leading from the Front. Love those two. Absolutely incredible. You guys are amazing. Keep those coming if you have some last minute ones. But I wanted to introduce our presenter today, Miss Kelly Couch, who's going to be sharing about experience and enroll. So make sure that we are giving Kelly our full attention and all of our positive vibes. I want to see those big smiles, those focused faces, taking notes on everything that she's going to share today. She's going to be talking about the power of building the relationship. And I know we hear so many times, I don't want to be salesy, I don't want to be pushy, and this is exactly how you do it. Kelly has some amazing tips and a killer call to action for you guys. So let's make sure to give her our undivided attention. I'm going to mute out. Kelly, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kelsey. And thank you guys for all of your smiles. You know what, Epic? How they say, okay, you're going to come back and then things are going to hit you, right? Hold on a sec. Let me turn this. Like, things are going to hit you. Life is going to smack you. You came out of this amazing energy and being around people that are like 100% aligned with you. And then you come back and it's like what just I step into? That happened to us like a couple of times this week. And so I appreciate your energy. You saw what happened. If you guys were at the event, you saw what happened when we gave energy to the people on stage. That it was incredible what we got back out of them. So I appreciate that big time. So today I want to talk about the power of building the relationships in the engage and enroll stage, right? We heard from Nate and Kelsey yesterday, and I really just want to drive those points home as far as getting people to be part of your business, be part of our company. It is so big, and I just want to really dig in with that today. So why I want to talk about why this is what we're going to go through. We're talking about why it's important. I'm going to give you tips on building these relationships, go into some that we learned yesterday and then a couple more, and then relationships during each of these stages, engaging and enrolling, and give you examples of practical things to do to be able to do this better, right? So business is all about relationships. Who has heard this? Give me your hands up. We know this. If you don't know this, you're welcome. I just changed your business, right? But business is all about relationships. I can be honest, like when I started doing this with Nick, if you guys know my husband, he is all about relationships. Like I can't tell you, I'm an introvert, right? So this is something I had to step into and build this muscle. You know, I can't tell you how many times when we started this, Nick would just bring people back to the house unannounced. And I'm like, oh, I just want to go hide in my room, but I had to like stay there, be an adult, grow up a little bit, but you work through that. And what you realize is that people need that and they trust that. And business is all about these relationships. How well you build them determines how well they'll build your business. Does that make sense? So if you are engaging and building relationships, that is what's going to in turn teach them to do the same and grow and grow and grow in an authentic and really long lasting way. So too many people, and I did it, underestimate the importance of this. Okay. So you build people build your business at every single level. Even if they're playing they're a fan, they just want to earn free product, all the way to the people that you're going to take this and drive it home with for the next, 10 years? I don't know, how about 20, 30 years? So you're responsible for this. Like that you have to take, I don't know if you guys have read the book, Extreme Ownership. If the relationships are sagging or lacking. I don't think sagging was the word, lacking in your business, take ownership of that. Right now, you can start to change that. And it's a super easy thing to do daily to start to grow, right? So take ownership. If you're seeing that you're not building the relationships and you're seeing that other people in your team maybe aren't having those connections, start now. Maintain and improve upon these relationships. That's the key as far as engaging and enrolling. So I think the connection pieces, that's where you're going to start to build those. And then maintaining and improving upon them is really where you keep them around and you keep that longevity in your business. What it does is it builds trust. We've heard the saying before, people quit products, but they don't quit people, right? So a lot of times you've gone and bought something and you don't know, there's no customer support, or you don't reach out and you're not sure if it's working or not or whatever's happening because no one's engaging with you all the time. People aren't going to quit you if you're constantly building that relationship and building that trust. So I'm going to go over some tips now, quick tips on building relationships and ways to make it easier. So I wish I had a video to play here of like my awkward stages of learning how to build relationships. Like I'm like all or nothing with everything I do. So in the beginning, I was like, no, like especially, we talked about in person, like Nick had to like grow me into a social person and building that. So that was a little bit easier for me. And then I was like, whoa, I'm home all the time with the kids. Like I could do this online. Super awkward. I was even more awkward online than I was in person. I was like, oh, I'm just going to go full in keto, like test market language, blast it to a million people. What was I don't even know. I pretend that didn't happen. And then I went the full opposite and didn't talk about keto forever and didn't really put it on my Facebook. And I was like, that's just weird then or whatever. And now it's like, oh, we're fine. Just be normal. Like, just don't be weird. Just be normal, right? And so in person and online, every single one of these are so important to enrolling someone. But sometimes we're so focused on the sale or like so focused on getting to the end goal that I think we forget them. So these tips will help you build meaningful relationships with people and potential customers. Some may seem super obvious, some we went over yesterday, but I know in the past I've overlooked these because I get so excited for people to drink ketones. Like, who's been there? Put a high five. If you've been there, you drink your keto, particularly like in the hours after I drink my keto, I'm like, everyone needs to feel this. And then I'm like, whoosh, attack mode, right? And so we need to just back it up and remember that people are not there yet. They haven't just had like 2 unleashed in a container at one time, right? So the first one is listen. We talked about this yesterday. Listen, your customer, your potential customer, your new friend will tell you what they want if you give them a chance. And I think this is something that Nick and I both learn from each other a lot, because he teaches me to get out and share, and I teach him to sit back and listen. You know, you can get so excited that you just spew, and then they're telling you exactly what they need, whatever that may be. So they're like, hey, I'm really dying around 3 p.m. when I get home from work. I have no time for my kids. And you're like, you want fat loss like this? You know, like that, you've lost them. That relationship, you know, you're going to have to rebuild. I mean, that was like a surface example. You know, the needs people tell you and what they need. And if you're listening, you know exactly where to direct them. These 90-day calls are giving you the focused action steps, the connection tools. So the next one, and I think this at every step, people's needs change. So in the beginning, they may share their needs with you and you're listening to that. But if you don't ask them again throughout the process, then you know, you have to keep up with that. It's a maintenance process. So you have to keep asking them their needs. Those change personally, business-wise, everything. Excuse me, they change throughout the process. So finding common ground. And I loved yesterday talking about social media, using social media to discover people's interests, right? Be a secret spy. You know, 90% of us were secret spies before we started ketones. That's how we got to learn about ketones, right? Because we spied on the people that were drinking ketones. So do that with your people. Just reverse that. Go online, be a secret spy. Talk about something other than the transaction that you want to happen. Find things you have in common with people and develop that bond. You'd be surprised how much you actually enjoy talking to people once you discover similar interests, right? I think you can do this in person and online. And I practiced it so much in person. And something that someone told us was, don't think about talking to everyone about ketones, just think about talking to everyone. So then instead of like paralyzing yourself by walking up and being like, what do you know about ketones and ketosis? Hey, they have 3 kids, I have 3 kids, they have toddlers, they homeschool, they whatever similar to me, walk up and talk about that instead, right? Like, let's just, I used to do this in person and it was so weird and awkward. And then I just started being an actual normal human. And then it always comes up. The conversation always comes up because you're engaged and you want to know what they do and they want to know what you do. Make them feel, the next one is make them feel like a priority. How many times have you done things in life, you message someone about something, they don't get back to you for a couple weeks, you're feeling anxious, like when something happens and you're feeling anxious because it's not resolved, like something gets shipped wrong or this or that, right? If you respond promptly to messages, not only does it put them at ease, they're not like, I need to return this whole experience pack. They're like, no, she's going to get back to me. She just has things going on. Even if you can't respond then, respond quickly with with something to tell them you're important to me and I'm going to get back to this quickly. But it's also flattering, right? Like a customer knows you're paying them so much attention. Like I know for us, a lot of times people will always preface their messages with, I know you're super busy and I don't want to bother you, but if I come right back in with a message, I'm like, I'm never too busy for you. Like, don't even say that. Or how about you let me tell you when I'm busy? You know, like you make them feel like a priority because they're like, oh, she does. This is good. Like, I'm not bothering her. It's okay. I can ask her questions. It builds that trust. The next one, add value. You guys understand that you have so much to give people, right? Like you have value whether you even understand it or not yourself, even without ketones, but with ketones, with this community, with the awareness and perspective you're gaining through personal development and collaboration and positivity. Like, I think sometimes we make this shift and we don't realize how far we've come. And then you turn around and look and like, so many people are so in such a negative place and they don't have all these positive things in their life. Like we've had people reach out to us and say, I don't even know what you're doing, but I need that positivity in my life. right? Like that didn't come from an awkward, what, like keto, me being weird. It came from me like putting positivity out there and showing people like we have something that's a game changer. It's a world changer. Like this, you guys have so many tools and people need it. So always be mindful of how you can add value to the people that you're connecting with. Sometimes adding value looks like helping them in other ways, right? So introduce them to people in your network, make connections, find ways to make their life easier. You know, I have done a couple of those. You know, I'll do lives with people online because who knows? I don't know if people in my network need what they have. They don't know if people in their network need what I have. And so we just connect, like just like friends online. We just met. Let's do this, right? And I think when we, you know, we really saw this when we went full time with Pruvit. Like when you have another job and then you feel swamped all the time, and then you go full time, you're like, oh, well, now I have so much time. Like, what do I do? Like, all keto all the time? No, what you can do is start to build these relationships and really dig in that side of it. And you'll start to see that come back around tenfold. I promise you. So the next tip is have conversations, not sales pitches, right? Keep it casual. You don't want your customers to feel like you're pushing them to buy. Move your focus away from that and towards this relationship, right? Once the relationship is in place, the keto conversation will come so much more naturally. Be genuine. People can tell when you're being insincere, so don't be, right? Don't be. They're like, what do I say? How do I respond? What's the right wording, right? I think we're always looking for like the secret, like what's the secret thing to say? What's the right terminology? What's this or that? Just be yourself. Just be genuine. If you seem fake, that nobody wants that. People run from that, right? It's obvious that you're maybe even if you're not trying to manipulate them for a transaction or for a sale, it feels that way. So just be yourself. I can tell you in this community that side of it has never been so evident and so awesome. Like I think I talk about that as much as the product, because you can step into yourself and fail, and figure that out along the way. And this community will catch you every single time. So you have that backup. Along with this, maintain your integrity with your team and with your customers. Let your character go before you. So, you know, say something happens and it's, 7 levels deep. You haven't developed that relationship yet. You've maybe gotten on a Zoom with them. You've maybe seen them at different events, but all those levels in between you guys, they know that when you make a decision, it's in everybody's best interest. They know where your intent is. They know where your heart is. Your integrity leads the way. So that person that you haven't quite had the time to dig in with yet, they know that you're going to handle this, right? Like they'll say, I don't know what Kelly and Nick are going to do, but I know they'll make it right because they always try to do their best with that, right? So that will lead the way and help you grow your team. Not only people want to do more for you and with you, but that character works for you along the way too. And these last 2 tips are key as far as the enrollment goes, right? Being patient. Relationships aren't built overnight, right? They take time to nurture and grow. And you need to be prepared to put in the necessary time to grow relationships with your people. I think sometimes it's always like, what's the right time? When do I bring this up? Like, you'll know because it'll feel right. I think sometimes we get in that comparison game and we look left and right, but the relationships are what matters. And I tell you, I can't say this enough, be patient. It'll all come back, right? Nick and I have seen this in our local community. So we're moving more into online stuff now, but really how we grew is we just got in and got belly to belly with people. Like we went I was then Mixer. I was going to catch myself and say Keto Life Party. But back then it was Mixers. We went Mixer to Mixer to Mixer to Mixer. And it was ugly. Like we had 3 little tiny kids. It was sweaty. It was loud. It was messy. But you know what? They got to know us for exactly who we were. And, it was patient. And it just grew so genuinely that our team now locally, the local community, they just love each other so much. And it taught us like, be patient, let these things grow, and they just love each other and trust each other. So the last one is to maintain your relationships. How many times have you you nurture them, they get a 10-day, you do great setting the expectation, and then they buy some ketones from you, and then they drop off the face of the earth. Why do we do that, right? I'm guilty of it too. I'm not putting myself, raise your hands if you have done that. Like, we're all there. We've all done it, right? And then 2 months later, when they're having an issue, or a sale comes up, and you're like, oh, this feels awkward. Like, this feels awkward to send them this promo because I haven't even talked to them since they bought ketones. Like, I talk to them every day and now none. Like, what am I even doing? And so I think maintaining those, you put in all this hard work only to fall out of touch. So keep in touch, follow them on social media, congratulate them on their successes, ask about things that are happening in their lives. Let them know when you release new products, that's not as weird if you've been maintaining that, right? If they're satisfied with you, then they'll want to continue to do business with you, right? So I think sometimes Nick and I always talk about, we talked about it at the event, like, is building relationships income producing activity? Nick and I always joke, like, if he wants to stop at a store, I'll be like, make it IPA or else you can't go in and get water. Like, we got stuff to do here. We got to move. But I think it definitely is. Yes. 100%, 1,000%, 1,000,000%. Yes. It might be a longer play, but it will come back and you'll be so glad you did. So what are some ways to use these practically in your Pruvit business? And getting them to the experience, have patience. I can't say that enough. Patience, patience, patience. Consistency, exposures. People are watching. They are learning to trust you by watching you most of the time when you don't even know it. Like, I can't tell you how many times since I've been super consistent on social media that I'll see people in public. My kids will walk in, they know my kids by name. I might not even recognize the person right up front, but they know my kids' names. They know what we learned yesterday in homeschool. They know how positive Nick's being when maybe he went through something. Like, they know all about you because they're watching you, and they're creating a relationship on their end before you even realize that it's happening. So how we've talked about mentors, and it can be, and how it can be an inspirational speaker or a person online that doesn't even know you, but they're your mentor because you follow everything they do. You're that person to a lot of other people. Like, I hope you realize by stepping into this and taking on this responsibility to share keto and to share positivity, you are that person. And that feels crazy. Like, I even got goosebumps thinking about it, and I know it about myself, right? You have influence whether you know it or not. The more people relate to you and trust you, the more you connect with them. And the more they trust you, the more influence you have. Does that make sense? So if you have influence now, imagine you start building these relationships and people learn to trust you. It grows from there, you guys. Like, you are so powerful. I wish you knew that in your relationships. Having said that, keep it simple, right? Don't overthink the relationship. I'm saying you, but I mean me. I get so weird thinking like there's some, like, maybe if I said this different, or maybe if I, like, what's the secret language? Like, I see, like, I'm just going to pick some, like Alexis. I see Alexis crushing it. Like, what is her secret language she's using, And it's not. It's just, there's no special thing, but being genuine. Do more of the normal stuff and less of the weird stuff, and you will find that your business grows so much more how you want it to grow anyhow. So I used to find it difficult to build relationships online. Once I learned to do it in person, online it felt more weird because you're meeting all these people and you don't necessarily know them or put a face to it. But I find that the more I just engage in normal conversation, it always comes around. And I've met some amazing people online that we, like, support each other all the time online now. So once you get a 10-day, what's this look like? This is a whole different training and Kelsey did it amazing about setting expectations. But one way to build trust is to avoid mismatched expectations, right? Set the expectations for the experience, set the intention for their experience, and make, like, what are examples of that? Making sure they know the cost, making sure they know it's a taste test, making sure that they know it might be an adjustment period, making sure of all these things, because if these are mismatched between you and that person, then that can get things a little rocky, especially if it's a cold contact or a brand new person. Ask two things that you should never quit doing at any point. Ask about their needs and goals and make sure they feel heard. Like, when you feel heard, you will trust that person with a whole heck of a lot more than not. So that's normal in any relationship, but key to this business. One way Nick and I do this in a 10-day experience is we tell the person that we're going to be dating them for the next 10 days. We call it the boyfriend-girlfriend plan. So for the next 10 days, We set the expectation that they will hear from us every day. That way they don't feel nagged, they don't feel like pressure to do anything, but we're going to check in. So we call it this dating experience. From their perspective, they know that you'll be checking in. They know they can be open and honest with their experience with you. And from your perspective, it keeps you accountable. You're checking in. They can talk themselves out of anything during that time, but if you're reassuring them each day, they feel good going to the site after that 10-day because they know you're there. You've started to build that relationship. How many times have people told you they bought things online, had questions, and nowhere asked their call or they quit? Make this different. This is different. Our community is different, and we need to show them those differences, you guys. Like this, what we have here is so special. People, otherwise, they'll feel like they're bothering you if they ask or reach out. So lay that foundation, right? Meet them at their needs. They went into that yesterday. It was amazing. For us, a huge thing about enrolling after and engaging our people is that we connect them to our local community. So, good, bad, or indifferent, when we started, I told you, we just went for it locally and built this community. So if you guys have gone to an event, you feel that love. Like, give me a thumbs up if you've been to an event and you felt so loved and so supported and so amazing. And then you come back and you're like, man, that would be nice to have here. Build it. Connect people to it. Get in there and get people meeting other people, right? Connect them to whatever. If your community is right now 2 people, connect them to those 2 people. If your community is bigger, create those events, build a relationship with you, but also build their relationship with each other, right? So say they're having a struggle, instead of quitting, they're going to reach out to you or these 100 other people that you've now connected them to, and they've been bowling and they go to bingo together and they have all these fun things. They're building the relationship with each other. So in enrolling in AFR, be the first line of customer support when it comes to the product and their needs. This builds your integrity. It builds belief in you and the company, right? Local environments, this is a great way to build those relationships. I can't go into all of those right now, but we all have a chart of those 8 environments. That's an amazing way to be able to connect with your promoters, connect with new people, have them scheduled around the clock all the time. You can always be inviting people to those things. It solidifies what they're feeling and it validates what you say. Another way to do this in the enrolling and after is to make or print a list of your promoters and customers and talk to them. Set a number for yourself. So say, I don't know, I've heard people do 50 a day. I mean, that's insane, or not insane, it's awesome. But, or like you have 2, whatever you feel like, set a goal that you can commit to and then do it, and go down your customer list and reach out to them daily, however many you're going to do. When you get to the end, start back at the top and connect with them every day. And then, like we said earlier, when sales come out or different things come out that are keto, you're in there, you're already in the cut, you're talking to them. You've been doing this all the time. So you want to always be looking for ways to build trust and for them to get to know you. Bottom line, they need to get to know who you are, and you need to be putting that out there in your relationships, in your social media, all of that stuff. Remember, if you want to build a community and a lasting legacy, don't close the sale, open the relationship. Cool. When I read that, I was like, whew, that's right. Okay, so I give myself goosebumps. No, just kidding. So your call to action today, I want you to engage with 5 people in each of these categories right when we get off this call. So your current customers, your current promoters, and customers who don't know their customers yet. So people that are not on ketones. So with that, it's a wrap. I'm going to give it back over to Kelsey, and we'll see you guys tonight on the call.
Wowzers, Kelly. I am it was so hard to write and then look back and write, look back, so many really, really good notes. I couldn't even begin to start rephrasing anything that you said. I mean, just so many massive takeaways. I love that last quote that I'm only half finished writing down. Don't close the sale, open the relationship. Massive, massive, massive. And the call to action for today, you guys make sure that you got that one down. Engage with 5 people in each of the categories: current customers, current promoters, and customers who don't know their customers yet. Do you hear her language on that? Customers who don't know their customers yet. That is awesome. So that's people who aren't drinking the product yet, right? So amazing takeaways from today. Make sure we load up the calls tonight at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, thank you guys for showing up here and being present. Kill the last day of the month. Just crush it, crush it, crush it. And we will see you guys tomorrow morning, starting out a brand new month. Oh, yes, thank you. And the Champion Success Profile tonight. Totally forgot about that. Make sure that you plug into that as well. Have a good day, guys. Bye.